Hello and welcome. Tonight we are going to talk about Gaza. Lots is happening in the world. Elon Musk just had a meeting with Trump. They were selling Teslas together. I bought a Tesla. It's the best car. Look, it's all computer. He said, "Look, it's all computer," which I thought was funny. Look, it's all computer. Um, but yeah, what else is going on? Um, I am on a show tonight called The Regular Show at the Vulcan. Please come out. I am also doing a show up north a little bit. I don't know what that is about. It's a frat show, apparently. So that should be more right wing leaning, right wing, right lean winging. What else is going on? Bill Burr is saying that we should fight Elon Musk instead of rolling over because he's got dyed hair plugs and a laminated face. It's like the nerds have won so hard that they don't even let other people know that they won. That's how deep the nerds' power go. Um, I think nerds are great people. Um, nerds are, I think nerds are selfish, so only a couple of them made it, and everyone else, they give like six-figure income and they're happy with that. Um, so yeah, the nerds are selfish. I feel like nerds have the most capacity to do the most evil because they think that they know the right answer and that all knowing is everything, but knowing is only half the battle. Then you have to actually follow through, and their knowledge side is very high, but their emotional side isn't. So they let themselves be like, yeah, I'll only stay here till I'm needed, and then when I'm not needed, I will leave. But then your voice is like, but the people like me. They need me here to do this. Everyone will appreciate it in the long run. And then your idea of when the best time to leave changes. So it's just they have no emotional intelligence to utilize the knowledge that they gain. It's a large part of the battle is your actions and what you do. And they only are good at knowing things because they're not used to doing things because they don't do anything because no one wants to invite them to the parties. And why would they? They're nerds. So they never learn how to do anything. They just know how to know things. And then when they actually are of useful knowledge and then have to do things, then it's like, oh no. Then they're just a novice at that. Glitter gets on other people more than the person that put it on. Um, Hello, Han, says Corsair. Was Hitler a kind of nerd painter? Yeah, I think he was very in his own head. Like a guy that's good at public speaking is probably not very good at in the normal day-to-day realm. So that he's probably just having ideas, being like coming up with solutions that are final and just being like, I have the right answer. This is what you have to do. So that's just what it's all about. Yeah, you have to let genocide affect you. You have to not let genocide affect you so much and vote for Kamala Harris. If you let it affect you, you're emotional and the reason we lost. I am sick of all these Democrats that are centrist being like, oh, we lost because of the far leftists. It's like, no, that was your candidate that lost. It wasn't the fucking Bernie bros that lost. You lost. Your candidate was up. You lost. Take some responsibility. Don't be like, oh, all these other people are to blame. It's like if you support literally the worst thing you could do to another person, like you can't be like, you should be okay with that. Like, why would you just not just do that? But yeah, I think people want to be like, oh, meet us in the center. I'm so good at compromising. I don't have any strong morals or beliefs. I'm just good at navigating the world and having the right beliefs to do well at barbecues. And it's like, maybe that's not that useful of a skill. Do you think she will run again? No, she was just a placeholder. There's 1,000 of her who haven't lost before. There's nothing special or unique about Kamala Harris. I couldn't pick her out of a bunch of people that look like Indian black people, but not physically. Physically, I guess she's unique. Um, 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 Yeah, I think Democrats that want to go more centrist, like, what's the point? Just be a Republican. That's what Hassanabi says. But yeah, what I think, separate from him, is that it's annoying when your candidate was on the platform saying everything that you wanted to hear and they lost. Somehow it's still the far leftists' fault. And like, why do you have to exist? It's like if the world, you know, it's like you can't just change your beliefs for what's going on. It's like if you support genocide, yeah, that's going to have an effect, and you should probably enter that into your calculations. But yeah, Kill Tony is going to Netflix for 4 specials. There is going to be a lot of buzz about that. There's going to be a lot of new eyeballs on the Kill Tonys. And I think it should be fun because there's nothing like that on Netflix. Nothing real. Everything is bullshit. This is a live show. It's fucking different. It's like just showing people what people are out there. And I think it's great. I think that they shouldn't film it on 4/7. I think that they should just film it for every show till 4/7, then just put out the one that, everyone felt good about because then you get 4 chances. But there is something magical to being like, this is the one. We're going to do this one. And it is I guess, an addicting feeling. I wouldn't know because I don't have any shows on Netflix. But yeah, it's a crazy thing, man. This show that started from the bottom of the top of the comedy store, the bottom of the top, the most bottom you could get at the top, it's the second floor of the comedy store, is now on pretty much the only big thing out there. Like we don't have, I mean, I guess HBO still exists, but it's not like the world isn't watching HBO. It's like a premium exclusive thing that you can get. Netflix, every fucking poor motherfucker has Netflix. These poor people have Netflix and they can chill while watching Netflix. But Corsair's just gassing me up. Hell yeah, thank you. I needed that. Ooh, I'm so sad. What's your favorite food? Probably Thai food right now. I get the pad see ew and the curry. I like the curry the best. You gotta eat the pad see ew because it just feels like vegetables. It just feels like it's healthier than curry. Curry's just goop. Curry's tasty goop. Um, my friend, uh, I forget his name, David something in Seattle had a joke where he's like, Indian food is just goop and rice. He was like severely autistic or like noticeably, visibly autistic. He had blaring, flaming autism. And he would have this joke about how shitty Indian food was, and it's just funny to see like even retards hate Indian people. But yeah, no, I think Indian people are great. You know, I think they're just an easy target because their economic situation and they're getting a lot of hate online. It's ridiculous. But it's a lot of the hate for just foreigners just piled on Indians right now. The internet is reached a critical mass where it's just fucking rolling around doing crazy shit. Little sparks of little sun flares popping out where they hate Indian people and make fun of their fucking everything, their bodies and their souls and the way they talk and who they are as people. It's like Indian people are great. You know, a lot of people backpack there. But yeah, it's also like a rejection of the spiritual where they're like anything that isn't real and tangible we don't see. So they just see like Mumbai and like the streets and the slums and people riding on trains in a dangerous configuration. Um, yeah, and you know, they're hairy, which is apparently important in hot weather. I think it's to shield your skin. But and they're dark skinned, which brings out the vile bile inside white people. They just can't stand it. I guess East Asians too. But I think for white people, it's like a more institutionalized and there's like a deep history of it and they practiced it for a while. And yeah, they see brown people, they're like, how can I get you to work for me for free? Or how do I exploit your country? Do you have any rubber? Can I steal your rubber? But no, I think white people are great, and I think a lot of them are decent people, and that's the problem is the system can't accept decency. Moderates, but it's not important. You can't go around bashing white people that are decent because they don't like that. Um, but yeah, I think it's crazy. I saw that Sam Cedar video where he's debating 20 Republicans and they all happen to be young. It seemed a little unfair. This guy's old as fuck. And he's debating a bunch of young children who just have a lot of energy. They're all spilling out. I can't help it. And Sam is taxes. Taxes are not, you don't understand. Taxes are what you pay to the government. And government is what gets you whatever, whatever. But yeah, obviously, I agree with Sam Cedar on pretty much everything. I think the war in Ukraine, some guy was like, that's just waste. It's like they're getting attacked because America fucking used them as a little lapdog. They rolled over on their back and showed us their belly, and we took away their nukes. We neutered them. We neutered our little ally, and now they're getting attacked. And we're like, why are you getting attacked? It's costing us too much money. This is not okay. You're really fucking up my vibe here, dude. And so now we're like, give us some minerals and stop fighting. But it's like these guys just invaded them. So it's like, hey, if you know Russia invaded New Jersey, would you be like, it's time to put down your guns? You've been doing this war. It takes two to tango. You've been doing it too, Ukraine, America. Just because they took New Jersey, it's like we'd be like, no, that's where Bruce Springsteen is from. We gotta fucking take it back. But yeah, I think you know, the importance of sovereignty in a country is being trashed. If US gets America, we will be able to party at the North and South French quarters. Quarter. US already has America. I think US and America are synonyms. Uh, well, yeah, I think Ukraine is just our responsibility. We try to use them. We try to abuse them. How much money you got? And how can you help us fight Russia? And then Russia attacked them for being too cozy with America. And now we're like, gross. Why are you being attacked? That's not cool, dude. All these other countries aren't getting attacked. Why are you the only one getting attacked? So I just think it's bad. Canada. I think Canada is a uppity little lad. It's like a little chihuahua. Don't tariff us. It's like, okay. Yeah, we'll take that under consideration. BRB. That's how I feel about Canada. What do they even have? They're attacking Jack Daniels, these Canadians. How dare you? You think you can take Jack Daniels away from us? You're trying to hurt the company so that we have less Jack Daniels? That's the most common whiskey. That's the whiskey that you buy when you don't want well whiskey. Everyone knows Jack Daniels. What are your thoughts on Bolivia? Didn't Che Guevara die there? Yeah, you guys lost Che Guevara. Couldn't keep him alive, dude. Hans, how long does it take you from your first idea for a joke and the stage ready version? Depends on the joke, but if I do it over and over again, it helps. If I think about it, write some new tags, that helps. Comedy is very funny. But yeah, I think coming up with jokes is so fucking exhausting. It's like you have to wake up being like, oh boy, I'm gonna try to find a joke out of everything today, and it never turns off. And you can't even be a normal person. You can't just say, hi, how are you, Kathy? You gotta be like, yo, Kathy, get out my fucking way, you fat bitch. No, I don't know. I don't do that. I don't insult people to try to get a joke out of it. I guess I just go through life and observe people, and then if something makes me angry and someone behaves in a way that I find infuriating, then I either say it to them and regret it, or I keep it in and regret that I didn't say anything and then try to write a joke about it, I guess. But yeah, I guess it comes from any uncomfortable moment. That's when I'm like, I should think of a joke for this because this sucked and it has no value right now. So if I could turn shit into something, you know, that'll advance my career, then I'm just a fucking machine. Nothing can stop me. But no, I usually want to just have it come from a place of positivity too. So yeah, I like to just go around and be like, hey, why did everyone laugh at that thing I said? Let me write it down. Or hey, I laughed at that, what that person said. Let me try to steal it from them. No, usually if non-comedians say something funny that I can use on stage, which is very rarely, I say, hey, can I use that on stage? And they don't really care. But that really doesn't happen. I want to come up with the ideas myself. I want to bomb with my own ideas. Bombing with other people's ideas is the worst. Then you sacrificed your soul and you didn't get anything out of it. So to avoid the worst case scenario, I will stay in the middle of the road. Lots of things happening. I am high. Thank you for noticing. Took two bong rips, one medium size, one large. Went to Guitar Center, picked up my voice changer so I can sound like Kit Boga. I then walked around Guitar Center, played the drums. Not very good at drums. In fact, I am a complete beginner. I have no sense of what I'm doing. But that's not what Guitar Center is about. Guitar Center is about commerce. And I was pretending to engage in commerce. And in fact, I did engage in commerce. So I am allowed to motherfucking touch the fucking drums. If you're alone in the woods and you see drums, you're not gonna be like, oh, I don't want to hit it. I don't want to hear what it sounds like and do something different with my life. I just want to do things that I've already done before. No, you see a fucking drum, you fucking hit it. Saw a guitar, strummed it. I just fucking, I fucking exploited that guitar center. I just, with my artistic and musical side, I just fucking smeared my artistic goop all over their equipment. So yeah, I went to Guitar Center. I don't know why I'm being so combative right now about this Guitar Center visit. Then I bought a little, I don't know, one of those seats that you can hit, like it's like a rectangle. It's a rectangular prism, and you can just you hit it down here. I bought one of those because that's a seat, which is always useful in a house. I always need more seats, and it's decoration. It's got a little Joker, Jack, whatever, some playing card on it. And it's also rhythmic. It's 3 in 1. Save space, do a lot of things. I could have a whole fucking band in there. I've got a guitar, piano, now I got drums. I just need a bass. But I don't even play my piano or my guitar. It's just in my house, just being like, you could do this. I always like feeling like I could be a musical anytime I want. It's always there for me. It's just another avenue of my brain opened. I can always play guitar. I also bought it like a poster for a guitar scales so that I can play scales. Fonda Williams says, why hasn't cancel culture come for the term dad jokes? Do moms not have jokes? I think instead of cancel culture, you should say liberals. Because cancel culture is a very specific thing that makes me think of like Harvey Weinstein and shit. So I would say, why haven't liberals come for the term dad jokes? Do moms not have jokes? Yeah, I mean, that's just another piece of evidence that women are not that funny. And it's like, there are funny women, but that's not what the majority of them are going for in life. And motherfucking men are, for better or for worse. You know, that's why there's a lot of men that are cringy and annoying because they're always trying to be funny. Ha ha ha. The way you see the world is so fucking witty and so whimsical. Wow, what a great world. You have the best world. You just see the world in the best way, don't you? And men just have to like have like a dominant frame. They have to be like, my frame is so good. It's such a good frame, and I love having a good frame. So yeah, I think men are funnier, but men are also cringier. Um, you can't get the good without the bad, and I think women are more like you're gonna have a decent time, hopefully. Maybe not with these millennial Zoomer ladies because they're angry a lot. Yeah. Things are great. Hans, I'm studying mechanical engineering right now. Any tips for me to not to kill myself? That's cool. Carnifex, Carnifex. What school? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. So the thing about motherfucking mechanical engineering is that, mm, well, you have to be good at test taking. So my friend Lockmall was really good at it. And he would be like, what is the question asking for? What equation do they want you to use? And what variables do they give you? So with you try to find the equations they want you to use to solve this problem. A ball is falling in the air and a bird happens to be in the way. Now the bird is producing drag as the ball falls in the air. Also, there is a grain elevator and the ball and the crow fall in the grain elevator. How fast will the ball sink through the sky, through the grain, and come out the poop chute? And then you just gotta be like, oh, they want me to use this equation They give me nothing in that example, but they probably give you the weight of the stuff and how much grain is in there, and then you'd be like, oh, that's the feet, that's the whatever, whatever, whatever. But other than that, I would just say, hey, just learn the equations. Don't um the theory is cool too. I really enjoyed learning about how viscous stuff works and how laminar flow and turbulent flow in a pipe. Turbulent just means crazy, and laminar means straight. So if everything is flowing straight, how does it work? But apparently, it can just turn turbulent sometimes for some reason. I'm sure there's an equation for that. And then you just gotta be like, oh, that's turbulent now. So now I look at pipes differently. It hasn't helped me at all, but now I know that there could be something going on in there. But yeah, other than that, I'm really not the person you should be asking these questions to. I got a 2.6 GPA, not really good at college. Fluid dynamics and flow rates, statics, when things are just laying there, how do they react to the environment around them? Um, Dynamics, which is where things are moving. And then you have to find the force of things and shit. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about this anymore. Um, oh, I love people that are just like motherfucking. Let's look at this view. I love people that are just like fucking. Oh, I was hanging out with Dali Ditarte and Joshua Flafluflu, and it's like, oh, so you're like really good at hanging out with people, huh? You just like hang out with the most exquisite of people. You got vintage people that you got hanging out with you. You must get some good hanging in there with those people. I'm just hanging out with fucking Drew Nickens. And you're hanging out with fucking Juju McClofferberger. Drew Nickens is great, by the way. I wasn't shitting on Drew Nickens. But yeah, it's like people that are like, I'm really good at meeting people. I've met some people, and I was really good when I met them. They all thought I was good at that, at meeting them. Bonjour, ça va bien? Bien. Québécois is it? He says, hello, how are you good? Quebec. I'm from Quebec, maybe. Yeah, lots is happening. Dad jokes, mom jokes. We already covered this. I am motherfucking 35 years old, and my most enjoyable age, Mike James, was probably okay. So high school was fine, middle school was fine, college was miserable. I had no purpose or life. Um, some people are built for college, and I find a lot of those people to be not very interesting. But I'm sure it's fun to hang out with people and just change your brain to whatever propaganda is on TikTok that they want you to be talking about, what they want everyone to be talking about. So yeah, I guess I'm a misanthrope and a bummer, a Debbie Downer, not a good hang. So yeah, college was not that fun for me. I started comedy, hanging out at Jai Tai in Seattle, just doing open mics, music open mics. That was fun, struggling and saying jokes that I thought were good to people that didn't even expect to hear jokes. And I'm like, I guess that's what we're doing in some way. All these musicians at music open mics being like, oh my God, this guy's pathetic. Is this what we look like sometimes? Is this what we're doing? I just made them feel bad, some of them. But some of them were like, oh my God, you're doing comedy. I love comedy. Everyone loves comedy. The idea of comedy is inherently joyful. The idea of enjoying it is already in comedy. So it's like saying, I hate sadness. Or I am thrilled by roller coasters. Of course you enjoy comedy. It's like saying, I listen to music. Everyone loves music too, you know, it's not like you have to like compliment my art form. I'm not like, oh, woodworking? I love woodworking. I sit in a chair. I wrote a joke the other day. Wanna hear it? Observation. Is Japanese culture quiet out in public due to everyone's voice being sore lost from anime voice acting? What a ridiculous thing to think. I mean, it is, you're like trying to do sociology from like what you know. And obviously that's what you know about Japan. And you're like, well, this must have to do with this because that's the only two things I know about Japan. But yeah, very, very funny. It's great that you're doing that, you know, connecting two things that don't really go together. Um, it's a great, great little way to look at the world. You know, it's like, hey, let's all remember that Japanese people do these two things that I noticed. Um, yeah, I think that's great that that you came up with this beautiful little idea, this what if the world was like that? Can you imagine a world where that would be happening? I can't. I don't even want to try. If a whole society was just based on motherfucking producing anime, and everyone, so many people do that, that it affects physically the people inside that society. But yeah, obviously, if you're doing anime voice acting, your voice should be pretty good. So maybe you'd be even louder in public. Maybe you'd just be having emotions. It got me thinking. Those are some real perverts. What is Goonie Goo Goo, Hans? Okay, let's look at the news. There's a lot of news in the world tonight. The U.S. will resume Ukraine military aid and intelligence as Kiev approves ceasefire. After Trump threatens new tariff on Canada, officials agreed to renegotiate U.S. Yeah, there's not a lot going on tonight. Um, yeah, it's just a dead night. Nothing happening. What do you make of declining birth rates in Korea, Japan, Western Europe, USA, etc.? Seems like well-off people don't want to have kids. Why do you need to have kids? Maybe we should find a new way to be of being where we don't need to have kids. It's like, why do you just want to have a bunch of people? What do we have people for? What we have people for is to work at our Tesla factories and cheap labor. And once that goes away, we can actually fucking use people for their full potential instead of wasting them as people that turn screws. We got a screwdriver. Back in the day, you just had a guy that turned screws. Now we have a screwdriver. Now it's a power screwdriver. Soon we're gonna have a robot that can fucking put that screwdriver where it needs to be. But yeah, I think you know, like, are we trying to fight other people, other countries? We want to have a large army. Is that why we need a lot of people? Why don't we just not fight other people? Why don't we try to do what we've been doing since World War II for a long time? Then we don't need other people. Let's just get really good at not needing more people, and then we won't need them, and then nothing will go wrong. It's like, oh no, someone needs to hit the switch in fucking Sweden, but the guy in Sweden is in Norway right now. It's like, why don't we just have like a blue Wi-Fi connection, and then we can flip the switch from Norway? What if we all got a country? There's 192 people left. We draw straws. Someone gets Mozambique. Someone gets motherfucking America. What a lucky guy. I can go to all the national parks and everything's functioning. It's like humming. You can go to fucking Cleveland and turn it on. Be like, oh, I'm in Cleveland. Let's see. Let's turn the lights on. And it could be like a thing on your app and you can just walk through Cleveland, but there's no one there. That would be lonely. Why don't we just all get together, 192 people for some reason? That's a good number. That's near Dunbar's number. Put them on a tram, build a tram all throughout the world, and they can motherfucking monorail to every place they want to go. Zoop, zip, zoop. And, just make sure there's no fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex on the tracks. I'm sure if you could build a tram all over the world, you can fucking have sensors, T-Rex sensors, or like connection. Is it connected? And motherfucking, you can just have like people just run around all over the world, just in a big tribe. Just if you don't like the people you're with, you can leave. You can start your own tribe, have your own tram. It's a big place. You can go anywhere, and everything's kept up by little wallies. It's kind of sad. Unique cultures are dying off, though, or is it that not a thing? I mean, what's unique anymore? We're all modernized versions of Azerbaijanis or Koreans. It's like it's already different. Like you just want to keep the culture preserved as sort of like a museum. We just all have to be in Jamestown and Williamsburg or whatever that historical village is. We're all playing a character. Oh, I'm the blacksmith. I'm going to work. Honestly, why don't we have a fucking tram here in the US yet? Um, the motherfucking point of a tram is to move people around as cheaply and efficiently as possible. And in America, you don't want everyone to be able to move around real quick because then they're going to fucking do shit and they're going to fucking change things. If you're stuck where you are, then you're not really going to do much. So just stay where you are. Everyone stay put unless you have the money to buy gas and buy a car and keep up with it, change the oil. Um, and also, please pay for the highways that we need to go everywhere now because no one can get anywhere without a car. So now that is everywhere. Now the neighborhoods are even more separated by giant highways and places where you can't be a human because there's cars going 70 miles per hour by your face. Banksy versus Satoshi, who is the better Anon goat? I feel like Banksy like slipped up a couple times. He's like, oh, I'm here. Oh, now I'm got Satoshi is just complete ghost. Nobody knows shit about Satoshi. So I'd say he's the goat. Have you ridden the hate period you got in good form? Your sets are strong still. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm in great form. We got 10 people here. No, I really don't want to let that. I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do anyways. I was doing this even before I got killed, Tony. I hope I deleted most of it, but yeah, it's just something that I do. It's like if you're a comedian, you should probably do the things that comedians do. And I know people are like, there's so many podcasts out there. It's like, what's the issue? We're running out of space. If you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it. It's I think it's good to have everyone expressing their voice and doing what I'm not, I'd want everyone to do a podcast, and then I'm sure there's going to be great stuff that comes out of some of them, and then you can clip it and put it out there. But there's nothing wrong with. I'm going to be doing this anyways. I'm going to be talking to people. I'm defending the existence of the thing that I'm doing right now. And it's a fun exercise, but I really don't have to. Unless I say like the N word right now or something, or advocate for Nazism. But yeah, I think the fact that Nazism is such a red flag and communism is not a red flag that isn't figurative, but just a physical red flag and not as big of a deal. Like if you find out someone's a communist, you're like, ooh, oh wow. But if you find out someone's a Nazi, you're like, holy shit, we gotta get out of here. Red Band has great suggestions for podcasts on the Solid Show. Great. Don't tell us it. Just assign us something to do later. Tell you a good story. Ad reads. Should I do an ad read right now? I think ad reads are fucking gross. How much money do you need? Prize picks. Everyone loves winning a prize. Now you can pick them. Tonight, we're brought to you by a company that I would never talk about otherwise. They had to pay me because otherwise I would never fucking talk about this fucking product. I think it's gross. No, obviously ads are, an important part of life. It's just, maybe we could just have healthcare and then everyone can just not have to worry about making money by reading ads. We can just do things. I mean, you don't have to monetize everything, but, monetizing things is nice. Blue Chew tonight. I think ads can be fun. I just think that maybe we just need to, I don't know. I think they're necessary just because how else is anything gonna function? It's like what you're doing with ads is you're taking people's attention and putting garbage in there. And as a open mic comedian, people's attention was valuable. You go to a show and they might not give it to you. They might be watching the game on the TV. So if I have someone's attention and I don't use it for the maximum possible thing, then it's a waste. So I don't know why I'm doing this podcast because a lot of it is garbanzo. But um, you know, it's like an exercise. If you can stick with it, there might be one or two moments that are nice. So, you know, it pays off sometimes. People's attention for any art form, not just talking about myself. But yeah, it's like attention, just because you're not having fun right now, like doesn't mean it's not a good thing to go through. Can Bill Burr save America? He said free Luigi. Well, obviously he did a crime and he was caught, unfortunately. He could have got away. But he did get away for a week, and that week was wild. We're like, there's just people out there doing this anonymously. We don't even know what they look like. And then we found out what they look like. They look like the best person in the world to be doing this. He had the great background, great looks, and he's Italian. You know how those Italians are. They solve things with violence. Yeah, so that's just what I think about that. Luigi, I think he should have got away. You could be like, that's not moral. That's not how a society works. Well, the way that society works is already fucked. So if he's just adding more fuckness to the society that already exists, that is fucked, then I don't see that as a big deal. Yeah, you shouldn't kill people because they're evil and they have done bad things. You should kill people because they got in the way of your car while you were driving and they wanted to protest you. It's like people are so obsessed with their meager, decent little medium lives that they think it's okay to kill people so that they can continue to live it. What are these people going to? Enjoy the view. It's like watching a motherfucking zebra crossing the highway. Look at these fucking clowns. Observe and just, you know, just look at them and try to see what's going on. Unless you're in an ambulance, and that's horrible. That happens all the time. It's just ambulances everywhere I go. Every highway is needed for the ambulances. Fucking ambulances. Because of ambulances, we have to live in shit neighborhoods that aren't connected and breathe poisonous air so that ambulances can get everywhere. Yeah, I just think that a lot of people are living lives that are, you know, meaningless and pointless, working for some corporation that's not going to last a century and they're going to die and they're going to have given their whole life energy to this company. And so they are telling themselves that that's not happening or a version of that is happening that isn't as bad. And so when someone is questioning that, their existence, that they know that they've had to build this fucking wall of self, whatever, self delusion, they get mad. So when you stop the highway, they're like, how dare you say that I'm meaningless? My life has purpose. I need to get to the office to sit down. Get out of my way. I'm working. I need to get to work. It's like, just admit our lives are pointless. At best, we're going to maintain what we were given. At worst, we're going to destroy large parts of it. We are nothing. And as they say in Fight Club, chapter 3, verse 16, we are the middle children of history. No great war. But no, I think that it is important to get to work. I think we should build our whole society on people getting to work. And if you want to live in a motherfucking nice community with a park and a dog, well, too bad. Someone needs to get to work, and we need to build a road directly to his Papa John's, right through the park. Yeah, I'm a liberal. I love liberal ideas like public transit and healthcare. I think there's ways to run a country, and it's like a science. But if you want to have fun, if you want to use your country to express how you feel and who you are, then you can like ban abortion and have massive highway systems everywhere. And you can do fun things like take rights from people and deport people. But I mean, I don't think if you want to run a country on SimCity, you wouldn't be like, okay, start with deportations and tariffs. You'd be like, hey, why don't we make sure that the people can have a good education so 40 years from now, we can have a cool new iPad. Because the more people you got not starving to death, the more shit that you can have later. Because then they're not just not trying to starve to death. And if your society relies on starving people to death as a threat to get them to work, then it doesn't seem like they would work that hard for you. It doesn't seem that good of a society. Canada is liberal as fuck, and we do it very good. Didn't someone get tariffed recently? Wasn't that a big deal? Wasn't that why you booed the national anthem of the greatest country the world has ever seen? Um, yeah, I guess I guess getting tariffed is what happens if you're liberal. Yeah, I mean communism is is just a word, and we should do it. We should do communism right now. Go out and share. Well, yeah, I don't think communism is really about sharing. I think it's about people that own factories not being able to pay people as little as possible, and more of that going to where it's going. But yeah, I think I'm I think I'm very bad at thinking. It's like my brain doesn't work. I'm slowly turning stupid.
Call to action. You're feeling.
Let's have a call to action. One call to action is high five uh Filipino today. Nationalism is fascism's annoying little cousin. LOL. Uh, should McDonald's promote the fact that Luigi couldn't resist a Big Mac? Big Mac. I'm loving it. Deny, defend, oppose. Buy a Big Mac today. How do you come up with jokes? I try really hard in front of a keyboard to come up with a joke. I sit in front of a keyboard and I say, do something funny now. That's how I come up with jokes. And then I just live my life and I bump into people and see what happens. Sometimes I start fights that I don't have to just to come up with a joke. Sometimes I fucking just follow someone and just see what happens. I don't even try to hide it. I just follow them around and then I write a joke about that. Yeah, lots of people are talking about the Filipino race. A lot of people are worried about their drug war. Seems like they went Nancy Reagan on Nancy Reagan on them motherfuckers. If a drug addict dies, the last thing they see is Nancy Reagan laughing over them. Just say no. It's creepy. My grandma left my grandma and married a Filipino. Ayo, Hanoi gang, Hanoi gang. Yeah, did the Vietnamese say Hanoi gang or do they not call it Hanoi anymore? Is it the People's Republic of Ho Chi Minh City? Whoa, don't do that. Okay. You ever be fucking and scratch your head and it's the loudest sound in the world and now it sounds like you're thinking? It's like, this is some nice pussy. Wow, the sheets feel real good against my shins. What do you want to eat for breakfast today, babe? Hopefully, you weren't offended by my joke. It's all love. Thank you, love. You did Joe Rogan's method? Did you learn from him or is it just what you figured out? I learned from him. I learned everything from Joe Rogan. He is my alpha male. I'm a beta male. PTSD versus autism. My path of recovery for PTSD is talk therapy, but I'm autistic and don't want to talk. Can't tell if I'm a savant or a social risk. Jesus. I would say just stick with the observations about Japanese people. Just be like, oh, anime. They're all doing anime over there because that's the only thing I see from them because I don't research or do any sort of knowledge gathering expeditions in my life. And I just take surface knowledge about people. I would say do that over this whole PTSD versus autism thing. You just did. But yeah, I think if you reduce a part of your personality that is unseemly and socially unacceptable, that it just goes away. It's not a big deal. Don't take yourself so seriously. If you forget about it, then it won't be a problem anymore. You're the only one holding on. No one's out here just reminding you of that shit, except for your family members. That's why you got to cut your family out of your life because they're just going to remind you of all this bad stuff that you did. So now, if you don't have family, you're not talking about your PTSD and autism. You're making surface level observations about other cultures you have no knowledge of, who are beautiful people that you would benefit from knowing about, and you just refuse to. Um, I think that's the key to happiness. We are cruising along. Lots of things are happening. Trump says he will label violence on Tesla dealerships as domestic terrorism. Oh no. You have to like Teslas now? You can't even fucking What if you just bump into it on accident and they say that's terrorism? Look, he had a coexist sticker on his car. He meant to he meant to rear end me. But yeah, obviously, Mahmoud from Syria was deported, was as they're attempting to deport this guy, but he's a green card holder who has lots of rights. Some Indian lawyer was being like, he's a green card holder, so he has lots of rights. I was like, damn, that sounds good for him. The more rights you have, the better it gets. Black little mermaid is gonna get people killed. Hilarious, you got that by sitting in front of a keyboard. I don't know where I got that one. I don't try to keep track. I don't do contact tracing. I just fucking, ooh, 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 ooh. I'm just fucking spitting shit out, seeing what happens. But I could have. I don't know where I came up with that. I don't give a fuck about Black Little Mermaid. And it's all I talk about now. Are you projecting your self-worth? I- Epic flavored, man. What is happening? Um, Hans, there was this interview of Sam Bankman-Fried in jail. He said he was surprised he lost in chess to blacks and Latinos. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, if only they could transfer that chess knowledge into the fucking real world, the world of business. Oh, here's an idea. Why don't we get rid of DEI at Harvard and college admissions? Is Trump going to tackle that? Or is he okay with Asians with higher test scores and grades being rejected for pasty, pudgy, arrogant little white boys who are going to do nothing but destroy the rainforest and engage in financial crimes? That's why they have it like that, so that they can find their little buddies. They're like, there's going to be like actual students here. We're actually not trying to do that. We're trying to make connections so that when I get in charge of ExxonMobil, that I have a in with the son from General Electric. So yeah, I mean, they're all about getting rid of DEI on airplanes. We don't want any black people flying airplanes. We don't want any black people working as doctors. But what about college admissions? You ready for Harvard to turn into Asia and India combined together? Is that what you want? You want to make it motherfucking fucking like like a Turkish bazaar? You ready for tapestries hung up throughout the colleges and they build a mosque at Harvard or whatever the Hindus believe. You ready for cows to be walking around the streets of Harvard? It's like they don't believe in DEI. As an Asian, I've been watching this story very closely, and they don't give a fuck about letting in the best people for the job. They just want white people, and you know, black people and Latino people don't have very good test scores, so they use that shit against them. And then against Asians, they have personality tests, and oh, can you make eye contact with me tests. So it doesn't matter how good you are. They're just gonna be like, no, you have to be exactly the kind of person we're looking for. You got to be white because that's the best way to be in our economy that we made for ourselves, and we don't want to change it. Every immigrant group has had to come to America and force their way in by hook and by crook because we know we're right and it'll make the country better. And these fucking old timey, crusty, lazy trailer park motherfuckers have always tried to help hold them back so that they can continue to get fucked by Carnegie and Elon Musk. But yeah, what else is going on? I got a bill for the hospital and I should pay it, I guess, but I feel like I already paid them. Why do they send so many fucking bills? It's like I paid them like $3,000 or like $2,000 for a visit to the emergency room, and now they're saying I have to pay them 500 bucks. It's like, why wasn't this in the first one? You just sending me two things so that I fucking what? I'm supposed to pay things that come in the mail? I thought I paid it. Like now people could just send me shit and be like, hey, this is for the hospital visit as well. Just make it one lump sum. They're trying to make me not pay it so that they can like get me in the system and just bother me forever. It's like I already paid it. If you want me to do two payments for you, why? Like you're trying to get my money and now I have to do two, double the work? You motherfuckers. It's from two different parts of the hospital? Well, get a guy that combines shit. Get a combiner. Send one bill to the customer. Do some customer fucking service. You want my money? Do something for it. Do the minimum amount. Don't fuck with me. Don't fucking Ryan Newland to pay a hospital. LOL crazy. What, you think they do that shit for free? You don't think you pay for it? You're forced to pay for it. I can just walk out on it anytime I want. What are they gonna do? Garnish my wages for $500? Good luck. It's all whatever. Private contractors, unless they get into IRS, and now the company and the IRS can make me do shit. Yeah, motherfucking Canadians acting like you're better than us because your hospital is paid for in an efficient and stable way. Um, Whoa, they got you for 25%. Is that for not paying your hospital bill? Yeah, obviously not having to pay for a hospital is ideal. I guess to a Canadian, it's a bit like paying for a firefighter. A firefighter comes, takes down the fire in your house. They're like, "Oh, thank you." And they're like, "Okay, here's a bill." They got a Venmo. Well, did you owe 25% of your wages or did they take more than they should have? Yes, universal healthcare is better. We know this. This has been tried in every country and it's been working great for them. Yeah, they fucking send you bills like crazy. They just send me one bill, make it easy for me. They made this guy cry, he said. It wasn't even like how much you were owed. They just take like a percentage. So if you owe $500, they'll just take like 10% even if you make $500,000. I want answers. But yeah, I mean, my money comes direct from the comedy clubs, so I don't know if they're tapping into the government. But yeah, fuck hospitals. You're making me pay, and now you're making it a fucking scam. And now you're trying to trap me. Not only are you making me pay for a hospital, which this Canadian is laughing at me for, but you're making it like a fucking payday loan. Motherfuckers. Evil. We're all shocked that someone killed the CEO. Well, if you don't remember the specifics, it must have been a long time ago. So that means it's not that big a deal. Okay, paid in full. Well, that's good. At least it's like fucking, they're not taking more than they meant to. Come to Ohio for sure. I guess agree to it at the time service, signs of paper. Yeah, while you're sick in a hospital, you have to do financial auditing. You gotta fucking be like, is the 10% interest gonna be compounding? And you're fucking getting drugged up. Yes, yes. Can you fucking sign it? You're gonna go under. We don't want to waste anesthesia. We have to wake you up if you don't sign it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a problem that can only be solved in one way: legislation and community activism and protests and petitions. But that is time for me to go. I'm gonna go. That was this whole thing. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Mike James, Milkman's, whatever, Ryan Newland, Ben L. Okay, at Pooter, some Chinese symbol in Pooter. Thank you guys. Good night. One, two, three.